Good morning, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? I love that intro.
It's
Right,
a good
Doug?
one. It's a good one. You think you never want change, and then all of a sudden you be brave and you make a change, and you're like, it feels good.
I find the good
Feels
songs,
good.
don't I? I mean,
Yeah,
they just those cymbal cracks
absolutely.
at the end just really pump you up.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you have a good weekend, my friend?
I did. I mean, it's Monday. Mondays are tough. I mean, the only thing worse than Mondays would be to have breakfast with Saul on a Monday, right? But other than that, no, it's I'm ready. I'm ready for the week.
I love it.
So your weekend isn't really a weekend, right? You try
No.
to take another day off, or right now you're just trying to build that
Yeah, it's season.
customer base.
I'm
You're
grinding
in
while the
season now.
season's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now Saturday was a little unwind. I went to sign a contract. My schedule was all off this week, so I did take a little more time off on Saturday than I have. I went to bingo Sunday with a friend of mine. That was really cool. I worked for the guy that runs it 20 years ago as a DJ, and so now he has this other side of the business doing like.
Did you say you were a DJ?
I was a second, so I was the helper monkey.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was the idiot on the dance floor, teaching people the Macarena and the cha-cha slide and all that crap.
Stop it.
I swear.
All right.
I swear to you.
When was the last time you updated your resume?
That's not even on there, but
okay.
yeah,
I need you
a real thing.
Post. Could you post just your resume? All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, right? A lot of people who watch know that you're now in the roofing business.
Yeah.
And out of the appliance business. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss the appliance business? Okay, see? Know where you need to belong. All right, a 0. Sounds like it's a perfect fit for you.
This world, right? Leading the masterminds and being on the podcast and hanging out with my friends from the appliance world. That I love.
Yeah.
Right. The other side of it wasn't my jam, so
Dan.
Yeah, I love the roofing. For sure.
Good.
Oh, yeah. I've done a lot of things, man. I got a lot of experience to draw from. Yeah.
Teaching the Macarena or doing a roofing quote. Which one do you want? Which one there?
My personality, I can do the roofing quote a little better. It took but I'll tell you, so there is a valuable experience in that, because it takes you from like that self-conscious, like worried about what other people think, to making a total fool of yourself in front of people that you don't even know for a wedding, and they're having fun, they're eating it up, so it really begins to change you and kind of how you just present yourself. It's a good experience.
No, for sure. Although it does give me vibes that it was like one of the lead singers of ZZ Top teaching the Macarena at a wedding in the 80s.
This wasn't that long then, man. This wasn't that long.
Okay, because and you had your cowboy boots on with your tattoo that says "I love Mom" or "I love Saul," whatever you.
These didn't even exist then, my friend. These tattoos are not there. No, sir.
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, so
I had to wear the monkey suit, right? Like we had the dress pants and the tuxedo top. Like it was to the nines, my friend.
Suit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So we're talking sales process, and we're talking about how to change with the world that's changed around us. And if you haven't changed with it, if your sales process hasn't changed, the way you're training your team to do the sales process hasn't changed with the world, we got some work to do. And we're going to kind of walk through what we've done to adapt to the changes, and some of the things that we see that may be holding your sales process back and maybe holding you from being more successful. So you want to pray us up, and then we'll dive right in.
Absolutely. Good morning, Lord. It's springtime in the air. We see life growing around us. And we know that nature is like a cycle for us. So, Lord, we ask that you, through your Holy Spirit, fill each one of us and recognize our seasons, guide us, fill us with bravery like Zach being a trained monkey at a wedding, doing whatever it takes, Lord, at that season. Learn from it and take away good things. So, God, give us a heart of curiosity, knowledge seeking, humbleness, and a willingness to learn, a willingness to change, a willingness to grow, a willingness to evolve in the child of God that you want us to be. So, Lord, we lift up the community to you today, and we thank you for all that you've given us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So I love the Zig Ziggler quote, right?
Good morning. That's a Zig Ziggler quote?
No, I was just hitting the comment, man.
Oh, my bad.
The Zig Ziggler quote of, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough people get what they want, right? And once I was able to embrace that in my sales process, it's really made a difference, right? So how many of us, and think back to, you know, your needle nose days, Doug, thought about, it's about me and I can fix it and I can do this, right? And didn't focus on what the customer needed, like didn't focus on the customer actual need, right?
Yeah.
And I think so many of us get stuck in that spot where the sales process is about us when it really has nothing to do with us. It's all about the customer.
I agree.
So as we're training our teams, and again, the sales process has changed. So from when you were first starting, how did you approach like being able to sell the repair to customers, being able to sell the company to customer? Like what did that look like early on for you guys?
Yeah. I was hourly when I first started. So the motivation to sell the jobs would have been probably peer valuation, since numbers were, shared. But I like what you said. I think it is about helping people. I've always loved to help people. And so if part of your presentation on that given day is to, offer, not if you do the repair, but offer to take the spaghetti stain off the ceiling and the wall where the pot blew up on the 94-year-old lady's stove a year and a half ago, to offer just to do that, regardless of what they decide to do with the stove. That's that energy to care for others brings a trust. And then from there, it's just a conversation about what's right for them. Does it make sense to fix it or not? And when you can get a customer to truly, honestly want to seek your opinion, and almost to the point where they trust that, that's when you've hit the zone, I think. And that's going to be different on every single service call.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever experienced that it's not just about the repair? Like, have you ever been with a customer and just like talked, right? Like just something's on their mind or something's that, right? Like, and for them, it's not so much you're fixing my appliance or you're fixing my air conditioner. It's just to have someone there and hear whatever's going on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels more like just authentic care, I guess, at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've heard stories. I've seen it on Facebook. So it's not a unique thing, but to say, to have some customer go, how old are you? Hey, my daughter's available. I mean, there is, because they see something good in you, and you've developed that relationship over the years coming to their home, so there's a bond that's built, a relationship that's being built there for sure.
So I guess the point of all this is, if you haven't figured out that the sales process, especially in home service, it's not transactional. If you're approaching it transactional, you're not going to last long. It's a very relational business, right? Like, we're building and developing lifelong customers. I have actually told roofing customers, I will not lose a roof for $1,000, right? Like, I'm not gonna lose a roof for $1,000. It's not about the transaction. It's about the fact that you're going to refer me to your mom, your uncle, your grandpa, your neighbor, your best friend from down the street, right? Like, that is what I'm going for. I am going for that relational customer. And I've been working towards that for a lot of years. Even as I was coming out of appliance repair, I still get phone calls for appliance repairs. Listen, I haven't done that in a couple of years. Here's the guy that I want you to call, or you're in this area. Here's the guy I want you to call, right? Like, because it's relational. It's about worrying about down the road, not just this transaction. Are you training that to your team members? Are you training that to the people that you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've hired people from scratch now, so they're brand new, and maybe they've never done a sales job before, or maybe they've never, done a service repair. So it's all fresh and new. At the interview, I talk to them about how the least important thing that you can do is sell the job, because nobody likes to pay a service fee.
Yep.
No one. And the worst thing you could do is diagnose something, quote something, and have them off to buy a new appliance in less than 20 minutes, 10 minutes. It's we might know before we get to the house. Most important thing is building that relationship. Now, I was thinking about what you said just a few minutes ago. There are transactional customers.
Sure.
And I think of some of my employees, my past employees, some of my friends here on Facebook. And when we start to talk about things, or a topic gets brought up, someone brings up the worst case scenario, the minority, the small percentage scenarios. Yes, there are some people that care about price. They don't care who you are. They just want you to fix it. That's this many people, and the rest of it, it's really about finding trust and building relationships. So that is a hard thing to teach, but I have to make sure that I'm more excited about the customer calling in and saying, I'm so grateful for that technician who was willing to spend almost an hour with me. And then my husband came home and spent another 30 minutes helping us pick out our new refrigerator, which we didn't buy from you. Wow. Who does that? That's the phone call that I'm making to the technician to say, you have just made my day. You've made the month. I mean, that's all-star right there.
Which brings up a good point. So are we tripping over the customers that are transactional and trying to change our sales process to model that minority customer? Or are we staying true to the larger picture and to the customers that we want to work with?
It's human nature, Zach. You sometimes wake up and you're in the right frame of mind, and then other times you're not in the right frame of mind. So be careful about making wholesale big decision changes. We talked about it in the pre-roll. I mean, I can't believe that in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, there's still companies who are saying, I don't service Samsung or LG. We don't do those newer brands. Okay, keep on being stupid.
25 years they've been here. Like, I mean,
exactly. And that's just low hanging fruit. How about when a customer says, how about when someone gets mad at you for quoting them for a sealed system job when it's not even worth doing? Okay. I'm trying to think of the exact scenario, but I know a bunch of friends and people in the industry that just say, sealed system problem, not worth fixing. It's not your job. It's not your job. But I find I've heard stories that they say, well, the customer was insulted that I even quoted the price to do a sealed system job when it wasn't working. So they just said, that's it for now on, because I got yelled at from Mr. Jones. I will never, ever quote a sealed system job on a refrigerator that's not worth fixing. It's do not react or respond to individual scenarios. You're walking away from potentially a whole bunch of repair opportunities, or people that are slightly less impressed with you because you didn't do your job, which is to go in, diagnose, quote the repair, and help them decide what's the next best decision for them. You don't skip a step. You want to give them the full package, you know?
And that's part of the sales process, right? Like if
Mhm.
if they don't see the value in the sealed system repair, did you really truly do your job in the sales process?
Sure.
I mean, our roofing products, we're not the cheapest guys around. We're never going to be the
Mhm.
cheapest guys around. Our thing is literally we use the best products, we have the best warranties, and we have the best customer service, and we live to that standard every single day. And so if you're writing something off in repair just because one person got mad at you, are you truly doing your job? I win more
No.
jobs by going, listen, I'm not going to be the cheapest guy. I'm never going to tell you I'm going to be the cheapest guy, but you're going to enjoy working with me, right? Like you're going to, and here's the value of the product. Here's the value of the company. Here's the value of the warranty, right? Like I have to sell the value. And so if you lose those, did you go all the way through the sales
Well,
process? And I guess that's my point. Are we in tune with what the customers actually truly need?
let's further challenge that and say that if you, from the person in charge, the expert, begins to profile your customer and assume what they might want, what they
Mm-hmm.
will want, you are not doing your job.
Mm-hmm.
You need to give everyone an opportunity. Otherwise, you're walking away from a situation that you could have helped them, or you're insulting them,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like, as a customer, maybe because I look like Kung Fu Panda and all these other things that Rob and Saul are saying about me, you know, like I just had a patio done for $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
He presented the whole thing to me, and I took nearly the whole thing. But I mean, if you wanted to profile the situation, he probably could have. You would have come with a smaller scale situation, you know. So I got what I wanted because someone laid it all out for me and honored me with the opportunity to pick and choose, you know. So my wife
100%.
ate him up though. I had to put her on a leash. She was ready to chew him up for the price, but you know it. But we needed to go through that. My wife
Right.
and I and Jake
Right.
needed to go through that. He is an expert and guided us through it. I only got bit once. Jake didn't. You know, but that's what happens with my wife sometimes. But you know, give every customer your full attention and every opportunity, and don't assume a thing.
Vale's out of the house, isn't she? She's
Hell
not
yeah. What do you
nearby.
think? I'm stupid? No, she's at work, man. You got to pay for the patio. She's at work.
I knew there was something different when yeah. Anyway,
Oh, you're saying my courage is not
you're a
authentic?
little more courageous today. Yeah,
Whatever.
that's funny right there.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
that is true. Like you are the professional in the house, and so go through the process and don't change it just because of one transactional customer, two transactional customers. So as you grow, like how are you training your people to do the same thing? Are you role playing? Are you going through the scenarios to help them overcome these objections? One of the things, so I took this to the BNI, one of the BNIs that I coached, because they've had a hard time. Oh gosh, I gotta jump to this. Don't spend other people's money for them. Don't assume anything about anyone. You don't know where they are. You don't use your pocketbook to
Yep.
judge someone else's pocketbook. Like just get rid of that mindset. It takes some time to do, but when you do, it's
I
awesome.
don't think we realize how offensive we potentially are. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if we were to go into a nice retail store or restaurant dressed in our appliance, you know, garb or whatever, I want the full treatment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be to assume that I can't afford the expensive bottle of wine, you know, whatever. So it's just
100%.
and I'm not. I don't think anyone here is who's doing it is terrible people. I don't think you're realizing, that you're doing that. Yeah.
You're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're spending with your pocketbook and not letting the customer see the value in what you're doing, and you're not selling the value in what you're doing. So how are we training our teams? Do we have a sales process in place? Do we have anything to lead our team to do this the way that it should be done? Are we measuring it on the backside, right? Like the KPIs. Are we figuring out what our closing ratio is when we're going to sell a sale? Are we monitoring the walks? Are we monitoring the condemns, right? Like, are we paying attention to that stuff to be able to make these pivots? Because the reality is, I think some of the audience has not paid attention to these things, and they don't know how the sales process needs to shift. They don't know how the market has shifted along the way. And so what are some of the things that you do to kind of train up your team to be more aware of the way the sales process should go?
There's definitely not one size fits all with a multi-tech staff. There are going to have everyone's a little different. They're going to think differently. I think KPIs, metrics, like the metrics that I'm sure almost everyone here uses, which is total revenue, average per call, your walk rate, how many completes you get done in a week, first call completes. And what's interesting is, like I said, everyone's different. So regular meetings to not shame them or judge them. Lately, for the last 6 months or so, it's really been about presenting the numbers and then asking them, what do you see in those numbers? And then meeting each one of them where they're at. So I'd say I've got 2 or 3 out of 16 that really honestly believe that the area that they service is has a big effect on their success. My walk rate is really high. And I literally have this going on right now because I am in the richest county in our state. And they have so much money that they can say no anytime they want to Wolf wall ovens and Sub-Zero and built-in Vikings, right? $15,000, $20,000 appliances. We all, when we're not trying to place blame or not take responsibility or honestly seek inward thinking here, know that no one's really wants to throw away a $15,000 refrigerator in 8 years. But that's what my tech believes. Then I have another tech who has a combination of kind of type of customers, but has a couple areas that are, depressed and low income. And for him, he believes it's because of the area, because poor people don't have any money. Yet he's one of the guys that has the most cash deposits when, throughout the week. Everyone needs appliances. So isn't that interesting? As I'm a coach, I find 2 people with the same excuse saying the other guy's got it easier than he does. So how do you overcome that? Conversations. Presented in a question form. So have you tried this? Or what do you think about that? Or, that type of stuff. But you, Zach, you and I know this, and many of us know this, that our company average numbers represent the average, and so it's really about getting them to buy in. So it's a lot of one-to-one time, just coaching, maybe buying them breakfast and getting their guard down to really explore it. I was able to do it, so I didn't need to be coached. Probably you as well. It just made sense for us, but not everybody's like that. And I've got some amazing guys.
It took time. It took time for me to get to that point, right? Like
5 years on my own. But wouldn't it be cool if you could have 3, 4, 5, 10 mentors, a community on Facebook that you could go to? And I try to guide everyone here, to hear and see stuff and then challenge and question everything that you read and that people tell you. Don't argue, but challenge it, think it through.
So I like what Andrew said here. I know TK and Miss Ward kind of talked about it. TK does this really well. EJ's kind of shifting towards this. For you, do you have an easy way to differentiate between walk and service fee only? And the way I did it was tags. Condemn, walk. Like the tags that I put in the CRM were very different. So I knew a condemn was a machine that literally could not be repaired, whether it was parts were missing, like discontinued. We couldn't find any replacement for them. The machine was so rusted, it wasn't going to come apart. That's a thing in our area. People would use softener. We have crappy water. And so like you literally just could not get the machine apart anymore, or it had just rusted through. Right. And so that's a condemn. And then the service fee only, that was the biggest flag for me if someone wasn't following the sales process, because they couldn't convert a customer to the sale. Right. That service fee only tells me that they couldn't sell the value of the repair.
Yeah, I come at it a whole different angle.
Not, and with that, we would break it down and we would go through what could you have done differently? What do you think you did well? And we talk about it and then experiment and see how the next situation like that goes. That was always my approach to that. How did you handle that?
Well, I honestly believe that no one likes to pay a service fee. Ever. Especially if it's time to buy a new appliance. I feel like that before they call you, they're on the fence most of the time. And they literally flip a coin, I think. I don't know, right? Can you imagine a husband and wife talking, and one is a little more leaning towards new and one's leaning a little more towards like it could be affordable. I really like this machine, but it could be really bad. I don't know. They flip a coin. And then they go online and then they call somebody. So no one, I don't think, really wants to pay a service fee. Maybe some accountant type, some engineer who says, before replacing, I must always get a diagnosis. And I know that it's going to cost this much, and that's part of my process, and I'm willing in investing that service fee. That's like this many people. Everyone else is hoping to fix their machine when they call us. So when you can't, because it's rusty, because parts are discontinued, why are we stopping there? You're in the house. Build the relationship. Ask about other appliances. Build into your business other things that you could provide that add value.
Oh, sure.
Imagine, right? But I think what happens if someone doesn't know me, a new employee or anyone, thinks, well, that you're just trying to upsell, I guess. But with the main principle being, who the hell wants to pay $100, $150, $200 service fee to find out? And this is what I think a customer does a lot. After you're done explaining to them and you show it to them, they're like, I knew that. Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Well, that brings the good question. Are your techs taking the notes? Are your techs actually putting the notes in so that you can have the conversation after the fact? Are you training up?
It's very important that you do document all the details. But still, even if you did, I'm the unlucky one. He told me about how this is a common situation with this brand. Damn, I've got one of those. What if you presented to the customer, hey, for just, $30 more, I can take care of that dishwasher issue you were having. Now, just imagine the customer, the spouse of the customer coming home. So tell me about the refrigerator. Did we get it? Did it get fixed? No, man, we got to buy a new one. But you know what? He got the dishwasher cleaning so much better. You should have saw what he took out of there. How much did it cost me? How much did it cost us? It cost us $230. Well, that's not bad, because we were going to have to pay the service fee of $150 anyway, right? Yeah. You're building value. Now, don't upsell to upsell. But do I think that all my technicians are doing that on every single service call? Looking around, listening, paying attention for an opportunity to build value in the time that you were there. If you're focusing on a noisy, squeaky washer and it turns out to be a tub bearing, and you say, oh, I've done my job, let's have a service fee, and you can even feel bad that they got to go buy a new machine, you're narrowing the scope on your opportunity to develop a big relationship. And some will say no, and some will say yes. But when I have technicians that have no add-ons in a month's time, and I have another tech that has 40 add-ons in a month's time, can we just assume that reality is somewhere in the middle? Can I assume potentially that my CSR that has 0 add-ons is not asking most of the time? And all you have to do is ask. And if they say no, again, don't assume that I'm a customer because I'm in a t-shirt, that I'm not going to be interested in getting my dishwasher looked at. Give them the full presentation. Develop a true approach.
That's where I was going earlier when I was talking about the BNI. I just coached up one of my chapters. They're not growing. They've stayed stagnant. And I said, are you guys afraid of the no? And they all kind of sat there. And I'm like, are you afraid to ask people to come and join? Like, are you literally afraid of the no? Have you asked people? Are you shutting down the conversation in your mind? And I watched the room just like, crap. Like, I'm afraid of the no. I'm a salesperson and I'm terrified of the no. Like, what are we doing? And I mean, your point perfectly proved that. Are we asking the question of the customer? Are we looking for these other avenues? Or are we afraid of that no? Are we afraid that we're going to get shut down? Just ask the question. And the more you practice and the more you get the no's, in what I do, if I have to go, I go door to door on occasion just to get the practice of getting a door slammed in my face, just to get the practice of asking a question to see if I get the no or if we can move forward, right?
Sure.
Because the reality is it's like a muscle. The more that you flex that curiosity, the more that you flex asking the questions, the more practice you get in like, okay, well, that didn't work this time. What if I try it this way? Is it my approach? Was it just that person? Was it, and you begin to ask the questions and you begin to do these KPIs on yourself. And I think teaching our teams to not be afraid of the no is so important. Teach them to just ask the question anyway. One of my mentors called it do it scared, right? You just do it scared. You send the message, you ask the question and you do it scared. More often than not, you're going to get a yes. But if you're afraid of the no, it's always going to be no, right? Yeah. Like if you are afraid to ask, it's always going to be no. So
I can't think, there was never a season when I was on the road that I wasn't always questioning the next service call and what I should do differently and say differently. And no surprise, being a leader of people, almost 30 people, guess what? There's nothing that I do that's the same. It's always evolving. So I love the part where you mentioned exercising your muscles. If you're not doing that, you're going to be okay. But you're going to be the waiter. You're going to be the oil change tech. You're going to be the estate lawyer that starts to, in your own brain, take away things because you're judging your customer. And there's no insult in offering and asking, would you like it? And over the years, like you said, it's if you're listening well too, you can't be like a bull in a china shop. So after you've gotten to know your customer through the diagnosis and you find out that, their husband died a month ago and money's tight and there was a funeral and the car broke down and there's someone looking at the foundation and now you're dealing with the washer. Do I now just not avoid mentioning our plan that would help them avoid paying service fees in the future? No, I'm going to mention it and go, hey, I know a lot's going on in your life and you've got a lot of bills coming your way and money's an issue. I just want to let you know we have this plan and, you might not be interested today. It would make sense to me. And I remember this lady going, are you kidding me? For that price? That's the kind of insurance I need as I navigate life without my husband and clearly dealing with a lot of debt. I need to have you on standby for free, Doug. I was like, whoa, all right. And they signed up. It's not about the signups. It's not about how many contracts I sold that month. It's about making a connection to the customer, listening to them, offering them everything and trying to just make great friends and build great value on each and every service call, except cockroaches. That I'm out of there.
Practice the mirror technique. Try selling to yourself in the mirror. If you can convince yourself, then your customer will your customers. That's a free one. Yeah, I mean, so there is something to be said. The owner of our company, he'll do role playing with us, and dude, he's a hard sell, right? So if you can sell to the owner of our company, like you can sell to anyone. One of the other really good pieces of advice that I got from another salesman in the company who's kind of gone off and done something else, write it down. So every day that I go out, when I come home, I have started to write in this journal, just like talking about what went well that day, what didn't go so well, what the conversation was with the customer, and really figuring out what works and what doesn't work. So if I can encourage you guys to, like, as you're trying to practice your sales process, write it down and look back on it and kind of learn the lessons along the way.
You know, Zach, you know what's tricky about this conversation is it involves money and maybe making a lot of money, which makes it become, if we begin to think of that as the primary reason for doing these things. But I love Maurice Linton's comment, which is kind of funny that the last name is Linton and we're talking about lint. Just kidding, Maurice. That customer, after showing them in a dryer, where if you're sharing with them, not scaring them, but sharing with them the importance of customer neglect in this situation, that customer is probably incredibly excited that dryer is cleaned and was totally willing to pay the $200. You made that customer's day better, safer. All you had to do was ask. Which is powerful. So it's not about the money, but I promise you the money will come. And if our industry begins to change and change and change, that we become a disposable industry, then we're all going to be joining the roofing world and crowding you out, Zach. But right now, appliance repair.
Bring it on.
Appliance repair is here for a really long time. And it's not about the money. It's about giving incredible service to each and every customer that's willing to receive it. You know, so these techniques are to make us better human beings as experts advising our customers. And yes, you know what? You're going to make more money, but it's not about the money. The more money you make, if you're a generous soul, the more money you make. Imagine that you increase your sales by 30% or something, 40%. As a team, and you take 10% of that and you create some sort of, give back fund. Tell your technicians, somebody's really struggling, let's waive the repair. Let's take it from the fund. Do good work and you'll be able to do work back as well. So
hopefully we've shared a lot of value with you guys today. Hopefully we've given you some practical tips to kind of help your team. And I'm going to throw something out here. I encouraged Doug, 2 years ago now, a little over 2 years ago now, into his journey with reading and elevating himself, and just really getting better as a leader. And so I got 3 copies. I bought them on purpose. I have my copy in my stack back here that I'm reading and highlighting. I've listened to the Audible twice. But I want 3 people that want to elevate their business, their team, and go to that next level. And I want to challenge you to better yourself. So shoot me a message, shoot Service Alliance Group a message, and let me know you're interested in elevating yourself, elevating your team, and elevating your customer experience. And we'll get you a copy of the book sent out. So I got 3 copies. I want to give back in the way that I've been given. My friend Dan Antonelli, after having a conversation for a podcast that's coming down the pipe, sent me a copy of his book, right? Branded, not blanded. I'm really excited as I'm reading that book. So I want to kind of return that favor. So shoot me a direct message, Zach Ryder on Facebook, or shoot Service Alliance Group on Facebook a message and let me know that you're interested in elevating your business. I want to see you guys grow. Mastermind coming up next month. TK is leading that one off, and you'll see it down here in the bottom pretty soon. EJ is working on a cover that has that. Free to all access members. So servicealliancegroup.com. If you're not an all access member, go sign up. We have manuals, we have SOPs, we have training, all sorts of things to help you grow better. And then now the monthly masterminds. So go check it out. Do things to elevate your business and elevate the industry overall. That's Service Alliance Group, elevating the industry, right? So fun conversation. Hopefully we helped.
Yes. Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next time on the grind.